everyone, thanks for joining me. My name is Stephanie Badamanuk and I am a one-star diamond Team Beachbody coach. My team is called Team Elevate. And I wanted to hop on here and do a quick little training series on Google Streak because I've discovered it fairly recently and I've been starting to use it for my business and really enjoying it. So I wanted to share with you some of the basics of getting it set up. Before I start, Google Streak, what it is a really good way to follow up and to track your customers. So one of the most important things in a network marketing business is having a good follow-up system. So before we begin, I just wanted to quickly show you two of my favorite books that I've read so far in my personal development that have really great information on how to do follow-ups. The first one is called GoPro. This book has really good ideas and things to help with how to do follow-up. So I'm not going to go into any details about following up, but it's super important. So this book is really good and I would recommend it. And the other one that I would recommend is called The Miracle Morning for Network Marketers. And this also has a really great information on following up and the importance of it and all that kind of stuff that can really help you with this. So I want to move on. And this video is about how I use Google Streak in my Beachbody business. So there's lots of different ways to use it in your business, but I'm going to start with how I use it. Sorry, I just have to go out here for a second. All right, try this again. So there's different ways to use it. This is just going to be a quick rundown on how I use Google Streak for my business. So Google Streak is actually like an app that you can add on. You must be using Google Chrome as your browser to get to Google Streak. So if you go into Google Chrome, you'll have this little thing here that says apps, and I usually just go here and click on Gmail. So Google Streak is also just an add-on to your Gmail. So you need to create a Gmail account, and I would really recommend creating one certain separate Gmail account just for your Beachbody account, separate from your personal emails, just to keep everything separate. Most people, would prefer to have it separate and be able to track your business a little bit easier. So once you've created a Beachbody account or a Beachbody email account in Gmail, you're going to want to set it up, and then you're going to want to add Google Streak onto it. Once you've done that, this is what it's going to look like. So this is my inbox right now. And it's just loading. It takes a minute to load. So this is kind of what your Gmail looks like. Google Streak, like I said, is an add-on, and it's going to just show up over here. And I just want to do a rundown of how I use it for my Beachbody business. So one thing I really am trying to do is get my conversations off of Facebook and onto email. And the reason for that is because then I can really use Google Streak to the fullest and take advantage of all it has to offer. So once I see that somebody is interested, I try to move them from Facebook conversations into email so that I can have better track them. So if you look over here, as you can see, I have my inbox, and then I have more labels. So I'm going to click on there, and we have something here called pipelines. So these are the pipelines that I've created. I'm going to show you just briefly. I'm not going to tell you how to set them up. I'm going to do that in the next video. So I just want to show you how I use them. So the first pipeline I am going to look at is called leads. So I'm going to click on my lead pipeline. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to hide the names because this is some information. So I don't want everybody to be able to see that. So I hid the names of everybody, but I can unhide that after. So this is my leads pipeline. So this whole thing here is called a pipeline. When you look across here where my mouse is moving, those are called your columns. And I can move over, and I have tons of different columns. And these are just things that I chose to track for my Beachbody business. You can choose whatever you want in the column section. I wanted to track as much as possible, or at least have them there for options, whether I choose to use them with everybody or not. Up here you have what's called stages, and the purpose of these stages is to move people through the stages and to know where you're at with them, both in conversation, in inviting. Have you invited them? Do you need to still invite them? Do you need to follow up with them? And all that fun stuff. So the stages are just across here. So that's the general idea of Google Streaks. So this is my leads pipeline. And what I do when I get a new lead is I come up here and you can create a box. So each person that you deal with, you're going to create a box for them. So I'm going to create a new box and I'm just going to name it Stephanie. All right. So now I have a box called Stephanie and it's in the new lead stage right now. I can move it from stage to stage just by double clicking here, and I can move someone through the stages, or I can click on their box. So to get to their box is right here. So their box is basically like their index card on that person with all of the information that you have for them. So this box is for the new lead that I just created called Stephanie. You can see they're in the lead pipeline under Stephanie. The stage that they're in is new leads. If I wanted to switch this person to invited to email, I could click there and I would switch that person to that stage. Now, all of this information right along here, this is those columns that I showed you that I chose to set up for my Beachbody business. So the things that I like to track are due date, so basically follow-up date, and I will show you how I use that later on in another video, but I use this very often as part of my power hour so that I can make sure I'm following up with everybody that I need to follow up with. The next is days in stage. That shows how long somebody has been in that stage for, and it's helpful for you know, making sure you're moving people along and they're not in a certain stage for too long. There's some stages where it's okay if they stay in it, like past interests or things like that. Facebook page, this is where I just copy and paste their Facebook URL and put it in here so I have quick access to their Facebook page. So these are all of my things. I'm just going to go back and show you going this way. So I have to hide the names again here. So let's just look at this person here. I have the due date as October 19th. They've been in this stage of follow-up for 10 days because the date I set for her was October 19th. I have her Facebook profile in there. I put when I invited her. For contacted, I have a drop down where I have either I contacted them or they contacted me. So I sometimes like to track that. I don't always. First order date, if I want to put that in there. Last contacted is kind of nice so you know the last time you contacted them. Any notes that you put on the person, their email, super important. I'll show you why later. The source, I like to track where I came into contact with that person. So I've put in all the sources or places where I could possibly have met somebody, whether it was Facebook. And then these three are from the Team Beachbody site. So did they sign up from my site from a link I sent them? Were they a customer lead or a Success Club lead? MailChimp, I just have a checkbox here. So if I've added them into my MailChimp, many of you won't have MailChimp. I don't use it a whole lot. I mostly just have it as for an opt-in on my website. But other than that, I'm really horrible at using it. But I want to use it better later. So phone number, address, birthday, that's all stuff that it's up to you if you want to track it or not. I put it in there. And for my current customers, I have that information in there, maybe not their birthday. If I happen to find it out, I might put it in there. I did put an assigned to. Now, the thing with this is it only lets you share boxes with somebody else up to 50 boxes if you have the free version of Google Streak. So I just created another one right beside it with a drop down. Now, I also have my husband's and my mom's account. So I want to track if I have put somebody under or sent one of the link from my husband's account. I want to track that. So I know if I'm trying to find them on Team Beachbody, whose account I need to look in. So that's why I have assigned to. I like to be able to keep that separate. I like to track their short-term goals, their long-term goals, coaching goals. Have they purchased the challenge pack? It would be just a checkbox. What programs they have currently. So I've put all the programs in there so I can just do a quick tag of programs that they already have. Programs they're interested in. This is super cool here because I will show you another way I use that. And then participated in. I also like to track what groups of mine that they have participated in and been in. Now, I haven't done that up until now. Before I just made the switch to Google Streak not very long ago, and I switched from using Asana. So I wasn't great at tracking what groups my people were in before. So I'm going to definitely be doing that from now on. Shakeology and Shakeology flavor. Now, this is what I wouldn't necessarily put in here again, but I'm going to leave it anyways. This is something that changes a lot. So I just have, are they on HD? Do they get a sampler, past Shakeology customer, or a one-time order? But this changes so often that it's really hard to track. So I really just put this in here for my new customers, and I'll show you my new customer pipeline later and how I'm going to use that, and Shakeology flavor. So for the most part, I'm not going to use that. Only for my new customers, and I know that that's going to change a lot, so it's not something I want to keep up to date on here. Supplements, same kind of thing. If I happen to know that they tried Energize or Focused Energy, I could put it in here if I want to. All of that information is available on Beachbody as well. Oops, now I'm clicking boxes that I shouldn't be clicking. All right, did I invite them to coaching? I just like to have a little reminder to myself. Did I or did I not invite them to coaching? Are they interested? Yes, no, or maybe. Invited to discount coach, just so I know, have I in the past invited them to be a discount coach? Once they sign up, so over here in my other ones, I also do their ID numbers and their membership type, club and free. And that's another one that changes if they cancel it. So that one, I mean, isn't super necessary to track either. But those are just the things that I really wanted to put on there and at least have the option to track, because I want to be fairly detailed in my tracking. Now, I should also say that this kind of tracking is probably more for Beachbody coaches who've been coaching for a little while and are looking for a more detailed tracking system. I am going to do a separate video for brand new coaches who want to set up and use Google Streak, but who look at this and get super overwhelmed because you're still new to the business. So I'm going to show you how to set it up very simply for the start of your business, so that it's something that you can use and grow along with, but not get super overwhelmed with at the beginning. All right, so that is my lead pipeline. So past interest, I put people I need to follow up with if they're interested, and I'm forming, so I'm having conversations with them right now. I created an email series. I got this idea, actually I got a lot of my ideas and information on setting up my Google Streak from Brooke Lipoff's training series on Google Streak. So I want to thank her for that, and she gave such great information, and I took a lot of great ideas from her and some other trainings and YouTube videos that I watch, and I just kind of learned through all of that. So you'll probably see some similarities if you're watching other people's videos as well. And she had done this, and I thought it was a great idea. So I went and created emails for these, and then I'm just going to keep moving them through. All right, so I want to move on. I don't want to make this too long. I also have one for coach prospects. This is where I track people who are interested in coaching. Don't worry about trying to catch all of this. I'm going to show you, I did the same thing that Brooke did as well, and I just set up a form showing you which columns I used and how I set them up, as well as all of the pipelines and stages that I have. Now I'm still learning and I'm still working on this, so some of these stages and pipelines may change a little bit, but for now I just wanted to give you a base. So that's my forming one, my leads, coach prospects. So you can, I will put a link to this on my YouTube video, so you will be able to access this as well. So don't worry about trying to catch up and write down my stages or pipelines. And this is what works for me. Like I said, I'll still probably be changing this as things work and don't work and as I use it more. So don't think that, if this is overwhelming, you can do something that works for you. So I haven't started this because I am still working on creating my own trainings for my new coaches. So this was also from Brooke. She had an email training series that she created, and I thought it was a really great idea because of the way you can use Streak to connect with people through email. So this I'm not going to explain too much because I haven't used it yet. This is just set up so that it's there for me. I also track my coaches. I'm going to hide their names. And I like to track my coaches and what stage they're in. Are they emerald coaches? Are they in a diamond training? Are they idle builders? So they say they want to build, but they're not. All my discount coaches, any potential builders, so people I feel that have either expressed interest or that I feel like would be really good to continue and actually move from discount coach to potential builder. And then my inactive coaches here. And then, of course, diamonds and star diamonds, which I'm sure none of us feel like we have enough of those. But so that's how I kind of track my coaches. And I'm just going to take one of my coaches here. I'm going to click on her box. So this is a box that's filled out. So you can see the due date of when I want to follow up with her. I have her Facebook page in here. I have when I contacted her, last contacted, her order date, her email, where I met her, her information from Team Beachbody, her goal, any program she already has or purchased, or maybe that's a program she purchased with her challenge pack. I put in her flavor of Shakeology because she's a new coach and I want to be able to track that for the first month or so and be able to check in with her and see how she likes it. Her coach number, her membership, and all of that, and then any notes and conversations that I had with her. So that's what somebody's box looks like, and it's really cool because you just have all that information together. All right, and my next pipeline is my new customer pipeline. Now, I wanted to have a separate pipeline for my new customers that signed up because I felt like I wasn't doing a good enough job at really following up and supporting my new customers in that first month that they got their challenge pack. It sometimes felt like, okay, they bought it, I'll put them in the group and that'll be enough support. And I wasn't checking in as much as I would like. So I created this new customer follow-up series that I really wanted to move people through. So once they've ordered, I have a Google form that I send them. I put them here and I want to watch and let them know when their order has shipped. I send them a message 24 to 48 hours after they've received it. And then I move them through and I check in with them each week for the first month to see how they're liking their Shakeology, if they need help finding any recipes, how their workouts are going, and just all of that, just so that they feel that connection and they know that I'm here to support them. So I move them through here, and then I want to make sure at the end I either invite them to be a discount coach or invite them to the coaching opportunity if I feel that that's something they would be interested in, or if they're going to stay as a customer. So once they've moved through this pipeline at the end of 4 weeks or so, and say I needed to move her now because she's moved through. So this lady, let's say, okay, she moved through the 4. Now I need to move her from my new customers into my customers. So I can click this little arrow right here, and I would just move her to my customers. Because she's no longer a new customer, I would move her to my customer pipeline. Now, one thing I want to say that's super important, and I'm going to talk about this in the next video where I talk about how to set up Google Streak. When you put these columns here, you need to make sure that these columns are the same in every single one of your pipelines. So I really urge you to decide right when you begin Google Streak what you want to track and make sure all of your pipelines have the same columns, because when I go to move her from this pipeline to another pipeline, if the columns are not the same, that information will be lost and deleted. So it's kind of pointless because you would lose everything that you had on that person. So they do give you a warning saying this column isn't in this pipeline. Do you still want to move it? The information will be lost. So you can at least go and add it in, but it's just a lot easier to have them the same from the beginning. So that's how I do that. So that's my new customer follow-up series, and I'm really liking it. It's helping me stay connected with my new customers and really build relationships so I can get them to want to stay on Shakeology and stay in my challenge groups, right? Because retention of our customers and our new coaches is super important in our business. And this program, Google Streak, really helps with that because it gives you that extra edge on being able to follow up with people. The next one is my customers. Now, don't get overwhelmed here. I have about 500 customers. I've only been a Beachbody coach for about a year and a half. But there is a way to bulk import your Team Beachbody customers and some of their information into here. So I didn't move these all in separately. Now I know Brooke in her Google Streak training, she shows how to import your Team Beachbody customers and coaches into your Google contacts. Now I did that, but I don't honestly see any value in doing that personally for me, because there was no way to move them from your contacts of Google into boxes in Google Streak. And to me, I needed them to be in a Google Streak box, not in my Google contacts, because that wasn't going to help me use Google Streak. So I wouldn't worry about doing that. You really don't need those contacts in your Gmail account under contacts, you're better off to have them in your Google Streak and have a box for each person. So I'm going to do a video later on, so it will be there, so watch for it, and it's going to just go over how you bulk import from Team Beachbody all of your customers, coaches, and the information you want to bulk import right into your customer pipeline. It's super simple, and it was a really quick way to move them all over. So for my customers, I just track right now, because I just had gotten them moved over. My mom was helping me. I had them broken into the customers in my mom's, my husband's, and my accounts. But I also have like dream challengers, so people who might be my customer but haven't ever been in a challenge group, right? Shakeology customers, so I still have to go and move some of my people around. Did I invite them to a free group? If they're going to order something, have I sent them a link? So some of these I still need to change up a little bit, but at the bottom here, you'll see I did do, at the end of my pipeline, I wanted to keep them in the same pipeline as my customers, my free and my Success Club leads that I get every month from Beachbody for hitting Success Club 10. They're still my customers, even though I don't know them or haven't connected with them necessarily. So I didn't really want a whole separate pipeline for that. So I just added to the end of my customer pipeline, I put my free and Success Club customers here. I make sure I contact them and add them to Facebook if I can find them, which is rare. But one of the things that I do now is, instead of clicking on my new customer or through Team Beachbody and sending them an email through there, I put their information into here. I create a box for them, put them into the contacted, and so I create a box, put their email, and I email them through my Gmail account, so that all my communication with them is through here. And then I also put a follow-up date, so I can follow up with them 1 week and 2 weeks later. If I can't reach them or get no response, I'll just move them into here, and they're still technically under my customer list. I'll know that they're there, and I just wasn't able to reach them. Down the road, I may try to reach out to those people again. They may just not be answering. And the other really cool thing that I haven't got to yet, and I'll show you right away, is you can actually tell when you use Google Streak and Gmail when somebody has read your messages. So that's really cool as well. All right, so those are my main pipelines. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on these, but I also create pipelines for my current groups. So I'm going to hide the names again. So my current groups, I'm doing a September yoga and gratitude retreat with the 3-week yoga retreat this month. So I always set these up so that I have the event first, because I set up an event for everything that I do, whether it's a challenge group, a free group, a sneak peek group, a coaching opportunity event. I always set up an event. So I put the people in here if they've liked, interested, or going. I contact them if we're talking and having a conversation, if I've added them to the group. If they're in the group but still need to sign with a free membership, then I put them there. And then I just move them through. So each week I make sure that I am checking in with my challengers. And then at the end, I'll invite them to my next challenge group or my next free group. So that's kind of how I do it for that. And then this one for quarter 4 that's coming out, I have created an event. And so this one is for a new product launch and sneak peek group, as well as a test group, because I always do an exclusive test group when a new program comes out. So I just started it with, liked, move them through the event part of it, move them into this the coach or the sneak peek group somewhere down here. Can't see it. I don't know. I'm sure I had it somewhere. My coaches. Oh, maybe I did it. Oh yeah, added to sneak peek. So these people I've added into the sneak peek. Some of them are my coaches, so I want to already track that. Lots of my coaches are, they already have a coach. And then after the sneak peek is over, either they'll have ordered, they'll say no, or they'll say yes. They'll order, and then I will add them to the test group. And then I can still stick in this pipeline and move them through my test group until I get to the end, where I will want to hopefully move them to another group. All right. That's a lot of information. So I don't want to go too much further on that, but basically that's how Google Streak works. You set up your pipelines, your columns, and your stages. So these are your columns. Your stages are what you move people through. Each person, you create a box for them, and you can put in information. So I'm just going to create a box for me here again. Let's call myself So the last box I created, I called Stephanie. So I'm going to call this Stephanie, and you're going to see here, it's going to pop up and say potential duplicate boxes. It's recognizing that I already have a box in the lead pipeline. So I have to decide if I want to create a duplicate box or if I want to put the information of that person into their other box. So this is a little confusing, but I just want to tell you how I use this. So what I do is I want all of my coaches to stay in the coach pipeline and all of my customers to stay in the customer pipeline, because those two things I always want to know if somebody is my coach or my customer. So if somebody to me is either going to either be in my leads, in my customers, or in my coaches, okay? And a lot of times your customers or your coaches are going to want to be in lots of these groups that you're creating. So I can't move, let's say my coach, or say, just we'll use Dave, my husband. So let's say he's in my coach pipeline, and I want to keep him there because I want to know he's a coach on my team when I'm looking through my coaches and seeing how many of emeralds I have and how many diamonds and how many inactive and whatever. I need to see that, and I don't want to move him out of there. But he wants to be in the quarter force sneak peek, right? So what I do is I create a new box for that person, and so it's seeing that he's a duplicate. So I'm just going to say yep, and I'm going to press enter, and I'm going to create a box anyways because I still want to know that he's in my quarter force group too. But I created a column called duplicate here, and the reason I did is because I want to know if I have a duplicate box, because what happens is if I was to click on this box right here in the quarter force sneak peek group, if I click right here, his box is going to be empty because this box for him is associated with the quarter force group. So when I go to delete this group, when quarter force is over, he's going to have two separate boxes. So anybody who I have as a duplicate, when I want to add any information into his box, instead of going into his box in this one, I know he's one of my coaches and I know he's in my coach pipeline, and that's where all his information is going to be. So I just click on him and I'm just going to backspace and make it bring back up. I can't even spell my name right. I can't even it'll bring back up his box, and it says his box in my coaches. So if I wanted to add in his box that he was in the quarter force sneak peek, I would go to his other box in my coaches and click on it. And this is the box where I have all his information in. So I would put interested in quarter force in his box that I have under my coaches. Because if I was to put that in his box in quarter force, now I'm going to click on his quarter force box, nothing's there, right? And I don't want anything there because this is going to be deleted when quarter force is over. My new customers, however, so my new customers that are not duplicates, this is their only box unless they're in leads. So then it's okay to put the information there. I just have to make sure I move them to a new pipeline when this group is over. So that part's kind of confusing. Some people just want one box for somebody and to move them from pipeline to pipeline wherever they want. But to me, that's hard because I have so many people in more than one group at a time. And if I take them out of my customer or my coach pipeline, then those pipelines aren't really accurate with all of my customers and coaches that I want to be tracking. So that's how I use the duplicate box. I hope that makes sense. I know that it's so much information for you guys. Another thing I want to show you is, hold on, which one? I'm just going to bring his box back up here. So when you're filling out the box, there was different ways when you set up your columns. So like for the date, I have it set on a calendar, so you can just pick the date, okay? Facebook page is just a free form. So there's all different kinds. Source, I have it as a drop down like I showed you. If you're gonna add notes, I will either put the date here and add a note. So add it to quarter force group. Or you can come over here and you can add a comment, add it to quarter force. And when you post the comment, it's going to post it over here as well as the note. So whichever you want to use, I haven't really figured out the main benefit between using the note section here or the comment. I know the note section is going to show up here on your main screen somewhere. Am I blind? Oh, right here. So the note section. So your stuff's going to show up here, but you can't really see it anyways unless you grab it and make it bigger, right? So whether you choose to use the notes or the contact section is up to you. And so all of that's here. And then the other really cool thing is it says that I haven't added anything to his box yet, or linked any, sorry, not linked, but you can actually, when you have an email from somebody, you can link it to their box. So I'm going to go to my inbox here. So you can see this little thing here. Some of them are highlighted and some of them are not. What you do when you get an email from somebody or when you send an email to somebody is you can click on this. So this is Ramona. She sent me her testimonial. So I can click on this thing and it says add thread to box. So I want to add this email to her box. So it's suggesting that I add it to Ramona. Now, if you can see here, I have Ramona in my coaches. I have her in my October from the Inside Out group and my Quarter Force group. Now, I know that these two are just my monthly groups, so I created a duplicate box for her just to know she's in there. But I know that the way I do it is I put all my information on the boxes in the coaches, customers, or leads pipeline. So I know I want to go and add it to her coach one because that one's never going anywhere. So I'm just going to click that, and that's going to add that there. And now when I go to her, when I go, there's also a search bar up at the top, so I can type in Ramona. It's going to bring up any Ramonas I have, so I want to go to the Ramona in my coaches because I know that's her main box. Here's her box and the information on her. When you come down here, here's all the emails that I have linked to her box. So these are always going to be here, which is why it's super cool and really important to move people from Facebook into your Gmail and your Google Streak, because now these emails are always going to be here. And what's even more cool is I can actually delete these once they're added to her box right out of here. And they're still, because I've added them to her box, they're still going to be in her box, even though I've deleted them out of my inbox and I'm keeping my inbox clean, which I love because I hate having tons of emails in there. So this is Deanna. So I'm going to click on here, and it even suggests it brings up all the Deannas that I have. This is the Deanna it's in my coaches, so I know that's her main box. So I'm going to add that to her box. And this is Janice. So it's this lady. She's in my new customer follow-up series, which I know is my main one that she'd be in. So I'm going to add that to her. So there you go. I'm linking those emails to those people's boxes, and I can then delete them because they'll be in their boxes even though I've deleted them. So super, super cool. All right. I don't know how long we've been going here, but I want to show you one last thing in a way that I used Google Streak. So oops, I don't need to go. I'm going to go back over here to my pipelines. Now you can't see them. If you've noticed, you can't see them. So you click on more labels, and that brings up your pipelines right here. I'm going to click my pipelines. So I'm going to go back to Quarter Force where I put that fake box for Dave. Oh, actually I can't. Okay, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to my coaches because I'll just pick someone from there. So I'm going to go to my Emerald coaches. This little arrow here will open and close it, so you can't always see them. All right, I am going to, so here's Dave's right here. So another thing you can do is just click on somebody's email. Maybe. Okay, and it's going to bring up the little email box here. So you can directly email them right through Google Streak. So the way that I use this mostly right now is I use it to send follow-ups or new coach or customer emails. I use it to send more information to new people or move them through the email series that I was telling you about before. Probably the biggest benefit of using Google Streak and email for me is being able to create what you call snippets. So if you look down here, we have something called snippets. And when I click on them, these are snippets that I've created. And basically, it's just a pre-made email template that I've put into my snippets. So let's say Dave was a new, I don't know, let's just say he was a new coach, and I wanted to send him my 3-week follow-up email that I like to send my new coaches. I just come here, I'd click on that, and it just brings up my my email that I've created for him, okay? And I've created a signature using, oh, I can't even remember what it's called. I'd have to look. I can't remember the name of it. And I can either send it right away, or I can send it later. So I can click send later. I can send it 1 hour from now. I can send it tomorrow, next Monday, in 1 week. I can pick when I want to send it. If I want to send it in 1 week, I can say, yep, I want to send it on September 30th at 8 a.m. and it will send it then. So I could schedule these in right away when I sign up a new coach or customer, rather than having to go and do them each time. So that's really cool too. Yeah, so that's how you use the snippets. I'm going to show you how to create and use them, and how to personalize them later on as well. So I'm not going to send that, but it's really cool how you can email people. Now, another thing you can do is you can mass email people, and I'm just going to show you really quickly, and then I'll go into more detail in another video as well. So say I wanted to mass email all of my Emerald coaches. I would just click on the Emerald coaches, and it's going to check all their boxes. I'm going to go to more, and I want to send a mass email merge. It's saying I have 5 boxes selected and 6 emails were extracted. I don't know how that happened. 1, 2, 3. So somehow there's an extra, oh, because this email, oh, her email's in there twice. Okay, no big deal. So I'm just going to continue with my mail merge. So it's showing these are all the 5 people that I'm going to send this to. And I can put in my subject, and I can put in my message. And like I said, in another video, I'm going to show you how to personalize that. But you can mass email people. Another thing that's really cool is you can filter and sort. So I'm going to go to my customer pipeline, and I'm going to hide the names again. You can go to filter, sort, and group. And I haven't used this much yet because I'm still just getting used to using this for my power hour and for my follow-ups and things like that. So you can choose, I can choose, say I want to know what somebody is interested in, and I want them to be interested in any of, and then let's say I want to pick the 21-day fix, because the 21-day fix and 21-day fix extreme, let's say hammer and chisel was coming out, and I thought that people who like the 21-day fix extreme, or body beast, maybe I'll say, okay, those people might like hammer and chisel, so I want to pick them. I don't want that one there. So anyone interested in any of the 3 that I selected, 21-day fix extreme, body beast, and I'm going to apply it. And it's going to show me, I have these all closed, it's going to show me all the people who I have put in here. I have their names hidden, so it's a little harder to see, but it's going to show me all the people who I have put were interested in 21-day fix extreme, or body beast in my customer base. So that's why tracking those kind of things in here is really helpful. So yeah, the filter, sort, and group are really cool, as is the mass mail merge. And let me see, one last thing I'm going to show you. So my leads, and well, actually a lot of these boxes. So when I sit down for my power hour, I want to be able to do my follow-ups quickly and effectively and be able to track them. So I set the due date, but I was having trouble with that because in Asana you can just click a due date and it puts them in order. And so I wanted to find out how to do that here. So there is a way to do it. I'm not going to show you right now. I'm going to show you in a video later on, but there is a way to, it'll be a quick video. There is a way to sort by due date and to really easily be able to track that kind of thing. All right, so columns, pipelines, stages, and boxes. Those are your main things that you need to know about Streak. That's how I use it for my Beachbody business, how I'm using it to track my customers, my coaches, and my leads first and foremost, and then to track and follow up really well with people in my challenge groups to be able to do better at tracking their goals. You can also have them fill out Google Forms or Wufoo Forms, and you can add that to their box, that information as well, so that you can have that there. Yeah, so that's about it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to post them below, and I will try to answer them the best that I can. I do have more videos coming. I'm going to be doing videos on now, more specifically, how to set up the columns and the pipelines. The next one will be on how to bulk import your customers from Team Beachbody, how to create snippets and mass email, how to set up due dates on the free version, and then I want to do a video on how new coaches can do a more basic version of setting up Google Streak so that it can really benefit you right from the beginning of your Beachbody business. The last thing I want to close with is a few things that I read from the Miracle Morning book. I just finished reading it yesterday, and I just got through the follow-up section. And some of the things he said was that you need an effective follow-up system so that no one slips through the cracks. And I really feel like this program can do that for us as coaches. It's so easy to forget people and to not follow up with them. It's way easier when someone says no to just forget about them. But if you think, well, they'll come to me later when they're ready, they probably won't. So we need to be diligent in following up, not annoying, not like making people mad, but just friendly follow-ups and making sure they know we still care about their goals. So that's super important to find a system that works for you. If that's going to be Google Streak, great. If it's something else, that's totally fine too. If you like Asana and it works for you, that's great. If you like pen and paper, great. If you like Excel, fine, right? It's whatever works for you. I just really think that this program helps so that people can't slip through the cracks. The other thing is no really doesn't mean no. It means not right now. So when somebody says no, I don't not put them into my leads. If they were talking to me and they were interested, I put them in past interest I put them in the past interest and say they were interested, they're just not right now, so that I can make sure that I still follow up with them. Maybe I won't follow up with them for a couple months. Maybe it'll be 3 months. Maybe it'll be 6 months, but I might send a mass email and invite them 6 months from now. I have a ton of people coming to me now, just now, a year and a half into my coaching business, that I have been talking to since I started coaching. And they weren't ready then. They were no's probably at least 5 times, some of them more. And now they turned into yeses. So no means not right now. It doesn't mean you don't track those people and that you quit following up with them. It's up to you how many times you choose to follow up with somebody. I know some coaches like to only follow up 2 or 3 times, and other coaches like to, just as long as they are receptive and want to be kept in the loop, then they'll just keep following up each month and letting them know about their group. And if they're ready, they're ready. And if they're not, they're not, right? So that's kind of a personal choice as a coach. The fortune really is in the follow-up. You're going to get most of your people joining you through following up. Not many people just say yes right off the bat. So if you don't have a good follow-up system in place, it's going to be very hard to grow your business. So I urge you, even if you choose not to use Google Streak, to find something that works for you if you want to grow this business, because you really do need to follow up. And the very last thing is, it is the fear of rejection that keeps many network marketers from following up. So don't be afraid of no's and being rejected. It's not that bad. People, if they're not ready, they're not ready. So don't let that get to you. Don't let it get you down, and put them in your leads and move on to the next person. That's why we have such a great system in place here, where you will always have lots of leads and have lots of people to follow up with, because you're tracking everybody. This is also a super great way to track your current customers and coaches that you want to keep with you. You can't just sign people up as customers or coaches and forget about them. They're not going to stick with you, right? They're not going to find that passion. They're not going to see results. They're not going to fall in love with Shakeology if they're not in your groups every month, or if you're not following up and helping them reach their goals. So having these new customer and coach pipelines to follow up with those people consistently, and make sure you're checking in on them and making sure that they don't need anything from you, that helps. And that's going to help you retain a lot more customers and coaches instead of signing someone, you sign 1 or 2 people up and then you lose 1 or 2. It's really hard to get ahead like that. And I'm sure anybody who's been coaching for a while agrees with me on that. It's very hard when you're losing people just as fast as you're signing people up. So I think that one of the best benefits of Google Streak is that we can really continue to build and connect with our current customers and coaches on top of that. So, all right, I know I've been talking a lot, so I hope that this helped you see how I use Google Streak for my Beachbody business, and I hope you check out some of my other videos. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great day, guys. Bye.